For years, the PHP community has been craving for a good package manager. Sure, we had Pair, but, well, let's just say it didn't quite meet up to the expectations. However, things have changed. We now have Composer. It's been around for a little while now, and you've probably heard of it. Composer is a standardized tool to distribute and manage packages, ranging from standalone libraries, such as a library to handle Excel files, to entire frameworks, such as Laravel 4. Now, the real power is that as long as a library complies to the PSR coding standards, it can be loaded through Composer, which means that you have access to a much wider scope of packages than you do with Sparks, which is CodeIgniter specific. Now, bear in mind that this means Composer packages use PHP 5.3 namespacing. So, if you're on a version prior to PHP 5.3, then this is not for you. Well, Composer is framework agnostic, so it's not limited to Symfony or Laravel, but you can use it with CodeIgniter as well. But in order to be able to use Composer, you need to install it first. So just click on the Getting Started button and then Installation. I'm on a Mac, so I'll use the installation for Unix. Just copy this code here, and basically what it will do is it will do a curl call to this URL right here, and that will download a composer.far file into your working directory. And it's this file that leverages all the Composer goodness. So inside of my terminal, I'll just run this. And as you can see, that's downloaded the Composer far file into my working directory. And I can use it by running php composer.far. So let's do that now. As you can see, it's been installed quite nicely. Now, this is a local installation, and that means that I can use it inside of my working directory only. However, I prefer to install it globally so that I can use it everywhere. All you need to do is move this composer.far file into your user/local/bin directory. Now, you need administration rights for that, so you will want to prefix that command with sudo. So I'll just copy this and run it in my terminal. And now I can use Composer by just running Composer. Cool. So, what does Composer do? Well, it's a bit like Sparks. You can find loads of packages at packagist.org. And there are tons of them. And according to Packagist, this is how you install them. You create a composer.json file in the root of your project. You fill it with the required packages. And then you just bring in all those files by running Composer install. After Composer has automatically downloaded all of these dependencies, it sets up autoloading for everything you've downloaded in a file called autoload.php. Cool, right? Okay, so let's just think of a package that we can use in our little project. I think Textile would be a good choice because Textile is a sort of markup parser, and we could use that in our answer section. Now, as you can see, there are various links to sources and documentation right here, and there's a couple of different versions, and we'll be using the DevMaster 3.5 development version. And this is what it requires. So let's just copy that and go back to our project. Here, we'll create a composer.json file. Inside of the file, we'll open up a JSON object and do require. And then we'll start a new object and just list all of our dependencies here. For now, we only have one, so this should do. Save that. And inside of our terminal, we'll just run composer install and press enter. And as you can see, Composer is downloading all the dependencies. Now, this might take a while, but in this case, it went pretty quickly. So let's see what's happened. Well, as you can see, Composer created a new directory called vendor. And inside of that directory, there is now a netcarver directory, which holds all the Textile dependencies. And there's also an autoload file that includes the autoload goodness from the Composer directory, which is over here. So let's just bring this autoload file into our project. Well, the easiest way to do that is just open up index.php and at the top, set a require statement and just reference the vendor folder. And what we need is the autoload.php file there. Now let's see if we can get this to work. I'll just go over to the controller section and open up the welcome controller. Now, because Composer uses PHP 5.3 namespacing, we need to bring in our netcarver \textile class. And this is basically a sort of require statement for namespacing. And we'll just do a little testing inside of our index method. We'll set a parser that will equal a new textile parser class. And let's set up a string here with some textile markup inside of it. Maybe add some more, like a list item, and maybe another list item. And then we'll just run that through our parser class, and we'll need the textile this method, and we'll just pass the string to that. Let's run it and see if it works. And this looks like it's all been passed as a heading 1, so I probably forgot line endings there, so I'll just correct that. And I think we need 2 line endings after a number 1 heading. So let's just go back and see if that's worked, and it looks really good. So we just brought the power of Composer into CodeIgniter. And with that, we now have access to all of these great libraries that are available through Packagist. And we're talking ORM packages, Excel parsers, and what have you. Okay, so that's it for Composer. I'll see you in the next video.